this time I backed out before the wedding. That's progress. You are gonna find some woman who can make you so much happier than I ever could. Look out. Ooh, see? It's happening already.
She's good with needy men.
One way or another, I'm gonna see you. I wanna meet you one day. Maybe next week, I'm gonna meet you. I'll meet you. I will drive past your house, and if the lights are all down, I'll see who's around. One way or another.
Everybody, welcome back to What the Hell Happened to Them? Julia Roberts carries us forth. I am your host, Patrick Skeyhill, and joining me, as always, is Mr. Joe's Wild Ride, Joe Vekeman.
No, you used that one before.
I have?
Yeah, it's okay. There's only so many ways you can fuck around with my name.
Listeners, if I have, you can email us. Where can you email us? Well, Lev Van Rensselaer is on the audio board, and he's reminding me to remind you that you can email the cast at whathappenedtothemcast@gmail.com. And our sponsor this week is CMA Theaters. Better popcorn, no annoying ads at the beginning of their films. CMA Theaters. Watch any movie there now. All right, Joe, what movie are we doing this week?
Runaway Bride.
She did run.
She did
a couple
run.
times.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, Joe. Well, why don't you give us the plot synopsis here?
A reporter is assigned to write a story about a woman who has left a string of fiancés at the altar. And let me tell you something, the horse motif returns!
I know, like so quickly. Is this like a writer in a contract? Like she has to have horses in the film?
Yeah, let me tell you something. That opening reminded me of like a gum commercial.
It's just like, she's marrying an entomologist. Why is she at like an outdoor horse wedding? She should be riding like a big old bug. Like the slug train should be moving with Julia on. Yes, Julia Roberts and Richard Gere return for their Before Sunset.
Yes. Well, sadly, they have not returned again. And they won't return in a Gary Marshall movie because he has passed on.
I know. Very unfortunate. She was not in About Time. Out of Time? What was that movie called?
Those are two different movies.
Which one's
I think
which?
it's Out of Time.
Okay.
Or he's a hobo.
And About Time's the, like, Harry Potter guy?
Is he in Harry Potter?
I don't know, the redhead dude?
Yeah, I know he's in Star Wars and
Yeah.
Ex Machina.
Yes. I thought he was in Harry Potter, wasn't he? Wasn't
He
one
might
of the,
be.
wasn't
I
he
mean,
one of the
he's a
siblings?
redheaded Brit, so
Yeah.
he might. There's
There
a
aren't
pretty
many
good
of
chance.
those. No. He could be Julia Roberts' son in an upcoming movie.
I mean, how old is he? I mean, maybe.
No? He
She
looks like in his
she's that old.
30s.
Domhnall Gleeson?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know about you, but I did not like this one.
What? You don't like a romantic comedy about a big city guy learning to value small town living?
Mr. Deeds.
That's so novel, though. We've never seen that in a romantic
it's
comedy
like the opposite
ever.
of Mr. Deeds, yeah.
Ever.
Yeah, let's see. Opening feels like a gum commercial. What's with Julia and the horses? The song playing in the bar is an odd choice. And then it continues. Every time they go to that fucking bar, it's
know.
like some
It's
weird...
the only song that bars allowed to play legally.
It's like soft pop that would play in like a young
elevator.
girl's clothing store. Like a Forever 21 or
That's
something.
how you know the bar he's at is hip.
Very hip.
His
yes.
weird dive bar
That's playing the pop song.
with the bartender who was in like
Gentle
every
pop
late
music.
90s, early 2000s sitcom for half an episode.
Richard Gere is a newspaper like reporter. This is back when rom-coms were like, oh, the newspaper, what a sexy job.
Yeah. Yes. But he's really
This is why
hamming up.
rom-coms have died.
He's really hamming up the New York accent.
Oh, yes. Is it a Hollywood law that Richard Gere and Hector Elizondo have to always be in a movie together? You can't have one without the other.
Who is Hector Alexander?
Hector Elizondo is the bald man with a goatee. He was also was the guy at the hotel in Pretty Woman. He's also the Detective Sunday in American Gigolo, which I just recently watched.
Maybe they're buds.
They have to be. These movies are American Gigolo, 1980. Pretty Woman, 1990. and then they fucked it up. They couldn't make this in 2000. I mean, come on.
They wanted to get those box office bucks, you know?
I guess so. She had 2 movies this year. Also, Gary Marshall had 2 movies this year. This is his second movie. The Other Sister. Ever heard of it?
No.
It's rough. Oh, my God.
So he had 2 rough movies come out this year. And, like, let me just say that it actually picks up quite a bit as we get to the third act.
It does, yes.
Like, the jokes really start landing, and it really starts kind of getting kooky. And I'm like, okay, I'm on board. But, yeah, there is, like, an hour and 20 minutes where I'm like, oh, my God, I need this to be over. This is so lazy. How lazy can we score this film, Joe?
James Newton Howard.
We got one of those. We got, like, I'm just making a Hallmark movie. Here we go. That I wanted none of.
Can I read you the plot synopsis of The Other Sister, a movie that came out February 26th. This movie came out July 30th. A mentally challenged young woman, played by Juliette Lewis, seeks independence by obtaining her own apartment and attending college while her family plans her sister's wedding.
Oh, okay. Like,
doesn't
her
sound
mother,
like Diane Keaton, her boyfriend, Giovanni Ribisi, who's also playing a mentally challenged person. Yeah, sounds very problematic. Also, Tom Skerritt.
Not Thomas Hayden Church, though.
No. Some good old Thomas Hayden Church.
Get some Wings alum in there. Yeah.
I just think that's an interesting choice.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like one of his anyway. Yeah, I don't know. It was oddly stilted. Gary Marshall usually better than this. Even the acting fell off. Though Julia kind of is able to elevate her part, which I didn't think was like all that great. She finds these like nice, especially when like her and her friend are talking, and she's like, "Do I flirt with your husband?"
Yeah, Joan Cusack is my MVP in this.
Is Joan Cusack related to John Cusack?
Yes.
Are they siblings?
Brother and sister.
Because they do look alike. Now, here's my other thought. I want to say that. What lazy parents they have.
Well. Why?
How? Like, we got our son John. Oh, no, now we got a daughter? I don't know. What's Lady John?
You think John is older than Joan?
I guess I did.
No, Joan Cusack, I believe, plays his older sister in Say Anything, one of his first big roles.
It's another, like, one of these Gyllenhaal situations in Donnie Darko. Can't be stopped.
Absolutely.
Were the Batemans ever in a thing together where they didn't make out?
Just Arrested Development from all I know.
Yeah, so, like, do you think Julia Roberts' agent is, like, Big Horses? Like, Big Equine is sponsoring her film career, perhaps?
Big Horses?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she's a Southern girl. She likes to ride the horses.
Yes. Even though they were in I thought they were in Georgia for Moses' movie, and then you find out they were in Maryland, and you're like, okay, what? I guess it makes sense that he would drive back and forth between Maryland and New York, even though I guess he really only does it once.
Yeah, that's a lot closer.
What we learned in this movie from the sexy newspaper reporting job is that internet trolls even predated the internet. Fun fact.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
The film was in development for over a decade. Actors attached at various times. Angelica Houston, Mary Steenburgen, Lorraine Bracco, Gina Davis, Demi Moore, Sandra for the role of Maggie, obviously, and the role of Ike, Christopher Walken, Harrison Ford, Mel Gibson. That one makes sense. Michael Douglas. No, not Michael Douglas. Michael Douglas is Hollywood's scumbag. He could not ever date Julia Roberts, America's sweetheart. What are we doing? Oh, Hollywood.
Harrison Ford would have been kind of funny.
Yeah, also, like, that's a pretty big age difference too, right?
What is Richard Gere, like 10 years older than Julia?
Yeah, I think it's 10 or something like that.
I don't know, 10 is feeling like the low end now. When I go 10 and I go, not too bad.
Not a Nick Nolte.
We're not Nick Nolte territory. So, like, is this another thing where Julia Roberts got to pick and she's like, bring Gere back. He's fun.
I don't know what this is. I will look into that, but I don't know about that.
Gere's like, all right, Julia, this time I'm getting the Oscar nom. Look at my accent. I'm from New York. Hey.
Is that why you brought up Out of Time? Because he's New York.
Oh yeah. No, I just I'm hearing him do this cartoonish New York accent for most of the film, and then by the third act, when he's not being a dick anymore, he just drops it. He's like, I'm not New York. I'm just Richard Gere again.
I just want to tell you, the soundtrack for this, not like the score. The soundtrack is so fucking lazy and unimaginative.
All of this movie's music is lazy. All of it.
Yeah. Starting out with Julia on the horse, running away from her wedding, with You Choose, I still haven't found what I'm looking for.
How on the nose can we be?
Hall & Oates, Man Eater. It's fucked up.
Yeah, this movie's tough because ostensibly Richard Gere's our main character, but I'm pretty much rooting for Julia the whole movie.
Yeah.
I never once want Richard Gere to be right that she's going to leave this other dude, even when the movie tries really hard to suddenly make me not like this new husband or fiance.
I liked him. He's nice.
I mean, he's nice for most of it, and then there's a weird thing in the bar where where he's being kind of a dick, and Richard Gere's like, "Hey, dude, chill out." And you're like, "Oh, okay, I see. We're just heel turning here for no reason." Your lady, Laurie Metcalf's hanging out here for a couple minutes.
My lady,
your lady.
Oh,
you're a big Roseanne fan, right?
Yeah, I love Roseanne.
Back when it was Roseanne and not what
the Connors.
Back when Roseanne could still be on TV.
Yeah, when she was problematic to the point where it's really unacceptable now.
Yeah, she used to be fun problematic. Now,
fun problematic, yes. That's a good way to put it. Fucking hell. Yeah, budget for this, $70 million. Holy shit.
Julia and Richard are like, pay me the green.
Yeah, where is it? I ask you, where is it? Was it the horse?
There are 80 million characters in this movie, so it adds up.
Yeah. Do you want it at the box office? Worldwide?
See, 70 million. What was the last one we did? Notting Hill, how much did that make? 300 something?
I want to say it was 270.
All right, then I'll say this one made 250.
309.
Oh, man.
They were excited to have Gere and Roberts back.
They were like, yes, this worked 9 years ago. Let's do it again.
Yep. And then they're like, never again.
Yeah, okay. No.
We fooled them twice. We don't want to see what happens next.
And not only did I have to sit through this movie once, then during the credits, I had to sit through a recap of the movie I just watched. As soon as the movie ends and the credits begin, it's like, hey, here's a 3-minute retelling of the movie you saw in case you forgot any important plot points.
Yeah.
Or you dozed off. We wouldn't blame you.
I'm bringing the auteur theory here to you.
Oh, yes. Fire away.
Well, maybe not the auteur theory. The auteur actor, director. Ready?
Okay.
So I'm telling you, we got De Niro, Scorsese.
Yeah.
We got Defoe and Schrader. We got Duvall and Altman. That's Shelley.
Yes.
I'm bringing you Julia Roberts and Gary Marshall. They did 4 movies together. This is the second.
Do you want to
take a Pretty Woman?
Oh, yes, of course.
Yes.
Yeah. So that one feels like more his thing.
Yes.
That was a well-made movie.
That's their Taxi Driver or Raging.
Yeah. Yeah, when he's not doing 2 movies a year, maybe he has time to focus on what he's doing.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to tell you that already stops right away when I tell you the other 2 movies that he did with Julia. All right. Then he brings us Valentine's Day.
I've never heard of this movie.
Oh, well, you didn't go along with the days of the holidays of the year? I checked to make sure it wasn't posthumous. His last movie with Julia and his last movie he ever made, Mother's Day.
It's no Labor Day, I'll tell you that.
Well, maybe Labor Day might be a little better. Who knows? But yes, I just thought that was funny. They did 4 movies together. I can't wait to tackle those later
4 movies
on
and a funeral.
Absolutely. That's what we're going to be at. We're going to be in the funeral when these movies come out.
Yeah. Okay.
So what else did you think about this movie?
I want to take a little break to do my favorite segment. Which actors have been on Frasier in this movie?
Hey, baby, I hear the blues are calling. Tossed salads and scrambled eggs.
We have 2 Frasier alum in this movie.
Hell yeah.
One I recognize right away, and one I confused with another actress in this movie, and then I got that sorted out. Richard Gere's ex-wife or lady he was gonna marry but then didn't, Rita Wilson. She plays this woman that Frasier goes on a date with, but then everyone tells him like, oh, she looks just like Mother did when she was that age. And he's like, no, she doesn't. And then eventually, like, he realizes that she does, and, like, he's about to have sex with her, but he can't bring himself to do it, and he has to break up with her. And then later on, he has a very interesting episode where, like, his past romances, like, kind of all talk to him and try to tell him, like, why he's had problems with his relationships. B.B. Newirth comes back, and Shelley Long, and then this woman comes back to be, like, his mother. And so, like, that's why she sticks out to me.
Rita Wilson also married to Tom Hanks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, since 1988.
Well, you know, you love to hear that story. So then at the beginning of the movie, you may remember Richard Gere's at a bar trying to impress a woman, and she's like, get out of here, you asshole, because she's very reasonable, unlike Julia Roberts' character in this movie. Who's like, get out, asshole, but actually stay. Frasier meets her on a plane, and she turns out they have a romantic weekend away, like tempestuously. They meet on this plane, they fall in love. She turns out she's both a supermodel and a doctor. And so he goes back to tell everybody, and they're like, Frasier, we know you just got out of a bad relationship, but you do not have to lie to us. And he's like, no, she's real. And like he spends the whole episode trying to convince everyone that she's real, and then you don't know if she's real. Pretty good. We should just do a Frasier podcast. I wish there wasn't already one. I could talk about Frasier all day long. Then there was another woman that was like, like the woman that her father's like kind of seeing, and I'm like, she looks familiar. Is she in Frasier? But then I realized no, she was in the Drew Carey Show, another one of my beloved sitcoms from that era.
Moon over Parma, bring my love to me tonight. Guide her to East Lake.
We could do a Drew Carey podcast.
Yes, a show so popular, it's one of the few shows from that era not in syndication. Yes, that would be great.
I mean, I'd like to watch it. I haven't seen all of it.
I would listen. I would love everybody to watch it. It's just like it's never on TV, and that's not a good sign. That show was good. It was really good. It wasn't Yes Dear, which makes sense. It's not in syndication. It like was good. It was quirky. Had a great cast. I don't know why you can't stick that on a channel somewhere. Put that on the goddamn TV land.
It should be on Pluto TV.
Yes, it's, you know what a lot of it is though? It's this licensing rights for these goddamn music.
I don't know if Pluto fucking cares though.
Okay.
It's the Wild West out there.
Yes.
Let me tell you something. The father of Julia Roberts in this movie, Paul Dooley,
has been in like a million things.
Do you know that he is still alive?
I did not. He did not look like he was long for this world based on how he was in this movie.
This man was born in 1928.
Oh my goodness.
He is 93 years old.
He will outlive us all. And he's been smoking and drinking since he was 15. You just know it.
I mean, sure. What was his last credit, though? Let me tell you what his last credit was, because I'm very... Oh my god, he still works! He still works to this day!
I'm telling you, these character actors, they don't stop. It's so little effort for them.
He's had a role in the Cars series.
Well, that's an
oh
easy
my god,
one to
we've
do.
seen him. He's
What?
our connection.
What?
He's in Bedtime Stories. He's the hot dog vendor.
Yeah, it's been a million years since I've seen that. I have no recollection of most of Bedtime. All I remember is, it's free! That's all I remember from Bedtime Stories.
I don't remember that.
That's the best part of the movie. And by best, I mean only good part.
The thing I remember from Bedtime Stories is when he's in, like, the gladiator sequence.
Oh, yeah, I can't remember that now. Mm-hmm.
But I only remember it being a gladiator sequence, and that's it.
Was there like an exploding animal or something? Do you remember?
Were there balloons? I don't
know. It's fine. Yes, Bedtime Story. Now we just got to get him in a rock film. We'll be all set.
I'm checking right now for you. I don't think so.
Joe, you know
Paul Dooley's going to be in any rock movie.
Well, if he could be a hot dog vendor in a rock movie, that's fine.
No, I don't see it.
Did you know who else was in this?
93.
You know who else was in this movie, Joe?
Tell me.
That guy from that dog show you like so much.
Oh, the one with no dogs.
What was it called? I just remember it was named
Terriers.
after dogs. Yes, thank you.
With Donald Logue.
Yeah.
I love Donald Logue.
Yeah, he showed up in here. Oddly looking fatter here than he did 10 years later.
Well, was he making Tao of Steve? Yes, he was. That came out in 2000. He was filming the Tao of Steve,
I don't know
which is a movie where he is a giant man.
Oh, well, then yes.
who sleeps with a lot of ladies.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you the
Jack
Steve.
Black effect.
Really?
Jack Black,
That's
big
the
dude.
Jack Black effect?
Sleeps with a lot of ladies.
Let me tell you, the Dow Steve.
Perhaps you've seen, what's that movie where he sees people like for their inner beauty? Shallow Hal.
Oh, yes, definitely. I saw that at the Zoetrope with my mom.
Ugh, that doesn't seem good.
Yeah, no, it was uncomfortable because I was like, why am I seeing this?
I saw 10. That when I was kind of young, but you know what was interesting? Like, I'd be watching the movie, I'm like, wait, why aren't they pretty anymore? Like, what's wrong with them? And somebody would be like, their teeth, or like, they have a weird face.
Yeah.
You're like, are you sure?
Yeah, it's really
They all look like movie stars to me.
What a terrible movie. The Tao of Steve. Underachieving, overweight kindergarten teacher Dex finds a woman who forces him to re-examine his Zen-like system of seduction. Yep, that is a real movie.
Yeah, that's a movie everybody was clamoring for. Richard Gere, whose character is clearly an asshole to everybody.
Yep.
It's weird that Joan has to be like, hey, he makes friends pretty easy. Maybe he's not so bad. I'm like, how's he making friends so easy? He's been mocking these people ever since he got here. And now he's like playing guitar with them.
This is why Joan Cusack is my MVP. The moment where, towards the end, where Julia has to walk down the aisle and her fiance is like bringing her down, like walking her down like very slowly so she doesn't like get scared. And then she's supposed to meet up with Richard Gere and they just get their eyes locked. And then the fucking organ plays the music. And then they just start getting closer. And I'm like, oh my God, no. And then Joan Cusack literally goes, no! And I'm like, yes, no, bad. What is she doing?
Joan's like, there's still 40 minutes left. Don't jump the shark.
She was calling it, and I loved it. Julia's pretty good in this.
Yeah, I think Julia's elevating this role more than what a lot of actresses could have done. It's just not a great role.
Yeah. She's doing what she can with it, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, she didn't sleepwalk through it, which if they're good,
she rarely does.
If she already cashed her check, and the movie's like, maybe because like her and Marshall have this pedigree already, she kind of wants to bring her A game, or he just might know how to get her best out of her, something like that.
I mean, she got her first and only at this point Oscar nomination.
Exactly.
So she's like, I respect him, no matter how lame this plot is.
Also annoying like another lazy music thing is Richard Gere's like artsy music love is Miles Davis, which is just like go-to jazz reference for anyone who doesn't know jazz.
Yeah, look at how sophisticated he is. He likes jazz.
He knows the one jazz person everybody knows. He must be so thinky. Ooh, my, how urbane. This is not to discredit Miles Davis and his talent, but Hollywood, other jazz musicians do exist.
Yeah, you know that they just did this jazz thing in the Sopranos movie I just watched.
Really?
They're like, I like jazz, and he's like, bring me Miles.
Yeah.
I'm like, God damn it.
That's it. That's all they know. And right, that's the prequel, so it's taking place in like the 50s or the 60s or something.
I think it's the 60s into the 70s.
Yeah, there was like active jazz happening. There were like named jazz musicians going on.
I know. The movie's fine.
Whiplash does an okay job, which makes sense considering it's only about jazz. It kind of has to do that.
Damien Chazelle is like, I'm the jazz king. Like, he loves jazz. His first movie is Guy and Madeline in the Park, and that movie is just like jazz. It's a jazz movie.
He's into jazz, and then later he's into space.
Yeah, I think that movie's underrated now.
And then later into songs.
Yeah, he's
parking
making
lots, freeway standstills.
Yeah. Do you know his new movie coming out?
I certainly don't.
It's called Babylon.
Babylon 5?
No, I think it's supposed to be about like Hollywood again.
Yeah, well, you've already done your Hollywood movie, Damien. It's time to move on.
He's doing it again because he didn't win Best Picture because of the whatever the fuck that happened on that stage that night.
Yeah. Well, you didn't win it because your movie was only okay, Damien. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he won. It's fine. He just won he's just the youngest Best Director winner ever.
Damien,
Fucking
Whiplash
asshole.
was a way better movie. I'm sorry you lost that year to a much inferior movie.
What was that? Birdman?
Was that the Birdman year or was it the Spotlight year?
I think that was Birdman.
Well, Birdman's not much inferior. I think I would pick Whiplash over Birdman. Maybe over Boyhood. That's a tough one, though. I like Whiplash a lot. I think it works really well. But it's got no gimmick like those two, so it didn't stand out in voters' head as well.
I mean, Birdman really felt like it has set Hollywood's directors like want to do a oneer from now on. Every big auteur director's like, I can do my own oneer. It's 15 minutes long. I'm like, okay.
And like
cool.
It so rarely adds anything.
Yeah, because
you're not getting like Victoria level of oneers here. It's just like, it'll look cool.
No, yeah,
Get out of here.
We already did one of the best oneers that I've ever seen, which is in The Player, right at the beginning.
Yes, Player.
And
obviously,
Altman, like I listened to the commentary, he's like talking about it, and he's like, yeah, this is actually like we did this a little bit on purpose to like show you like everything that's going on. You introduce the characters slowly, and yeah, there's purpose behind it.
They're talking about another famous oneer, like it all makes sense.
Yeah,
Birdman I didn't like because like it didn't need it. Like if you didn't have that, it's the same movie.
Yeah, it's literally just for the gimmick.
Yeah, and so like
it's
you
just
won
to say
for
I
it
can
and
do
like
this.
screw you, Birdman.
And it wasn't real anyways because it was all stitched together.
If you want to listen to more rants on Birdman, you listen to our Adam Sandler episodes. We go into
we did rants on Birdman.
We rants on Birdman, on Spotlight. Yeah.
Oh wow.
We have a lot of anti-Oscar rants on this show.
I like both those movies. I know it's not a popular opinion, but I like both of those movies.
Spotlight.
Not that much, but I like them.
So Richard Gere finds all the VHS tapes that her parents weirdly keep about her failed weddings. Let me tell you, they must have shelled out big bucks for these VHS recordings because the audio quality is impeccable. It is Dolby quality sounds. There are impossible to get camera angles. Somehow the videographer has gotten like the camera on top of Julia's shoulder as a little kid is being dragged.
Well, yeah, he's holding the boom mic and everything.
Somehow a cameraman knows she's going to jump the opposite way off of the stage and he's like underneath ready to see it.
Yeah.
It's amazing, these videos. I want to get their information. They can do my wedding. And all on VHS tapes. They so masterfully edited these failed weddings for this family. It's very nice of them. As a person that's videographed failed weddings, they usually don't want to keep it.
Wow.
Yes.
Failed wedding. You just
yes.
Say it.
I filmed a wedding, and before I could even give it to them, while they were on their honeymoon, they broke up. They lasted less than 2 weeks.
Wow.
Failed wedding.
Do I know these people?
No, you do not.
Oh, thank God. No.
But like, there was a string back when I was still doing that. Like, it was like every wedding I did ended within like a year. Like, I had to stop doing weddings because I was afraid of passing the curse along.
Yeah, you're the fucking curse.
I was. It was bad.
Stopped a while ago.
Bad. All right, Joe, you want to get into your favorite segment? You know this movie's old?
You want to know how this movie's old?
We got to talk about it a little bit. Newspapers are a booming business and apparently a very sexually desirable career.
Yep.
That's certainly not true anymore.
Yeah, newspapers.
Yes. VHS tape cassettes exist in this world. Hotels have keys. They have physical keys that you put in a lock and then turn them to open the door.
It's impractical to do that now.
Yeah, COVID stuff is going on. A cheap and or average wedding dress costs $300.
Yeah.
Bargain bin.
Yeah, well, the one that she was looking at was like $1,000.
$1,000, and that was deemed aggressively expensive. $1,000.
Yeah, Tanya was in the room with me, and she's like, "That's cheap now." And I'm like, "Shut up."
And augury is being used to see if the marriage will work. That has not been popular since ancient Rome, but it's good to see it poke its head up every now and then.
Yeah.
For you classicists out there, I bet you're roaring in the aisles. That Dooley, right, the father, he actually does a pretty good J.K. Simmons impersonation, whether or not he's trying to.
I don't think he was trying to do anything because J.K. Simmons was like, he was on Oz, the Little Scene show. I mean, it had an audience, and he hadn't been in Spider-Man yet, so I don't think J.K. Simmons was.
J.K. Simmons wasn't really a thing yet?
Not really. I mean, he was in a couple of the other Sam Raimi movies, but that's about it.
So the idea behind this, well, I mean, the idea is strong, but this Julia Roberts character that like is assimilating to all the men in her life to get them to like her, but then she's realizing that she's not in love with them because they don't know who she is. Like, that's a good idea for a movie. I wish we were more with her and didn't have Richard Gere telling her this. to mansplain it to her. But then then it's also like you're in this weird position where like, okay, they can't tell her who she is, but you can't. Couldn't she just be impressing off of you now, Richard? Like, isn't the cycle just perpetrating itself again?
Yeah.
So that's some tricky stuff there.
It's just so weird because it should be her movie, and she's the secondary character in her own, when she's top billed in her own movie. Like,
and there is a version of this movie. Like, this movie seems to be stuck between them. Like, there's a version you could do where he's the main character. There's a version you can do where she's the main character, and you just tried to do both, and neither of those really came through.
It's like 60-40.
Yeah, like he just magically has his transformation because, like, at that point you wanted it to be her movie, but you didn't have enough with her to set it up very well, and like he has to be too strong of an agent in her story. So, like, it's kind of a mess. That's unfortunate. This wedding proposal that they have, right? The guy with the coach breaks it off for obvious reasons.
Yeah,
because they smooch in front of him and are clearly in love. And then
in the church
at the rehearsal wedding, and then they're just like, "Well, I already have the church. Do you want to get married in 2 days? I know I've known you for 2 weeks, and you started off hating me extremely, but now we just have a meet cute." Like, none of that feels believable.
No, none of this is earned at all.
Like, it's just like, so they're like, well, we only got 40 minutes left. We got to get this movie over with quickly. Yeah. And we got to have you do a runaway thing again where we're going to try to trap you in the church because that's a very humane thing to do, I guess.
Definitely.
The coach, though, takes it really well. He's just
all right,
he's
whatever.
Like, hey, you know what? I'm glad you didn't break my heart. You know, so good luck, but then he doesn't even like laugh when like she runs away from him too. He's
like, I'll see you. I'm going to be on Law and Order for like the next 20 years. See you later.
And he meets like sexy sports lady there. So it all kind of worked out. Like, that was a bit where they're like, the guy's like doing the play-by-play of the wedding. I thought that worked. Then he's like, look, we have all the people on the groom side. They're all from New York. And it's like 80 people in business suits that look like they're in Men in Black. That was a good joke.
Yeah. There's some good jokes later on. This movie took a really long time for it to like.
Yeah, like it's so nothing, and then finally, it finds itself. I don't know why you didn't want to go and revise those first 100 pages. You would have probably a much better movie.
The first 100 pages. Let's take another pass at this first 100 pages.
Yeah, it's a fucking lazy mess. You're all better than this. You're all better than this.
They were coasting on the names in this.
I know. They were just like, all right, we're all making other movies this year. Let's just pick up our paychecks and walk away. And then you made a bunch of money anyway. So, like, Hollywood's sticking to its old tricks, half-assing it and getting rewarded. Thanks.
Well, it all pays off very soon.
Yeah.
Can I tell you what we're doing next week?
Well, one last thing I want to talk about before we go into last looks is perhaps you noticed this, Joe.
Oh, yeah?
When she sneaks into his apartment at the end because she just manipulates everybody sexually. She is reading one of his books by William Butler Yeats, famous poet. So that was a nice little erudite callback there I was a fan of. I wonder if Julia actually reads the poetry.
You're making me feel really fucking stupid right now.
No.
No. I didn't catch that. That's good, though.
Well, obviously you're not a Yeats head like me.
Yeah, you want to know what we're doing next week?
Yes, but also no.
Because you'll just ask me Monday.
Yeah, I'm just going to forget. This one I kind of remembered at least. At least it was a title I was familiar with. All right, so give us some last looks here, Joe.
Last looks. Julia, let's not try to phone this. Well, I mean, not phone in it, because she did great.
I mean, she didn't phone it in. That's what's impressive about the performance.
Yeah, she just maybe take another look at that script before you say, yes, definitely, this one looks good. She was in a great movie that I didn't really care for, but it was a good movie, Notting Hill, earlier that year. Maybe like a month before. It's nice. They have good chemistry, her and Gere.
Yes, Julia clearly knowing that her rom-coms are doing well, whether or not they are good.
Yeah.
So like
they're in demand.
Like, yes, exactly. So like I don't blame her for not going through these scripts with a fine-tooth comb. Okay.
Wow.
Fine-tooth comb.
No, I love that. A fine-cook dome.
Let's put that on t-shirts, Lev. Let's get that out there for our patrons. Good. Well, what does impress me is that you didn't half-ass it like we've seen so many major stars do. I'm looking at you, Bruce Willis, looking right in your eyes. Harrison Ford, a good chunk of the time.
Yeah.
I applaud your professionalism. Especially with a role that didn't give you much, I'm extremely impressed that you found something in there. Like, this is something The Rock can't do.
Absolutely not.
And not something that Sandler usually has to contend with. Either he's making a movie where, like, he just does a character or plays himself, or, like, a movie's really just well written and then they get him to act it.
Yeah. Speaking of Sandler for one quick second, did you see that awesome shot he took the other day I sent you? He took a shot from, like, more than halfway away from the court.
I thought you were like, what photo?
And he's just like, Sandman!
Yeah, when you said shot, I thought you meant like he took a photo, and I'm like, I can't think of a photo.
Oh, no. He takes
basketball. I did see that. Yeah.
And he shoots it.
Well, I guess then we have to quickly seg into our Sandler watch. Lev, cue the bump.
Sandler watch.
So, Joe, tell me what you sent to me this morning.
Hotel Transylvania 4 fails to release, leaving fans baffled and angry. Yes, because Hotel Transylvania, a movie that was supposed to be starring Sandler, but I guess he was busy, or they didn't want him, or maybe he cost too much money. They decided to, we'll just hire a guy that sounds kind of like him. And, movie's not coming out in the theaters. Also, it's a different director now than the first three, so that's going to probably look weird now. And, also, it's not coming out in October anymore. Maybe January. We'll see.
I thought it already came out. It didn't?
No. They bumped it because the Addams Family 2 came out.
Addams Family.
And it's like, it looks exactly the same for the animation style.
Yeah, I know. Animation's like lazy now in America.
Yeah. Fuck that movie now. I could care less.
I can't imagine that they couldn't afford Adam Sandler in their $500 million movie.
Yeah, like, what are you doing? That guy, he's the one that fucking... man, that's a bummer.
I don't know what happened where Sandler didn't do it or couldn't do it. I don't know what was going on, because it's the easiest thing to get him into a voice booth for...
He could do it from home.
3 days. You can even do it from home these days. It's wild. All the Simpson actors work from home. So easy. So I don't know.
They're all old. That makes sense.
That helps. Nah, it's just like, because at some point you can only offer them so much of a pay bump. So you're like, okay, well now you get to work from home. How's that? We'll build you a little studio. We can't pay you that as much as you want, but you save a lot of money in these other expenditures. Yeah. So there you go. Hotel Transylvania. Will it ever release? Who knows? But for the purposes of this podcast, we don't care.
Oh, fuck that.
At some point, I wonder if the movie gets received so poorly, do they try to pay extra to get Adam Sandler dubbed over this new guy? That'd be interesting.
That's so fucked up. Don't say that stuff. Let me tell you really quick, because it's been on my brain for a minute. Do you remember when we watched the Mummy Returns and we had to see that shitty, awful Scorpion King CGI monstrous thing? That same year that the Mummy Returns came out, The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Rings came out. That's how you do things correctly.
Yeah, I love it every time.
Same year.
YouTube or something will recommend a video like the worst CGI of all time, and the thumbnail is always at least the Scorpion King rock and other stuff.
Just wild stuff. I just can't believe those two movies came out the same year, and it's just like, wow.
Well, I'd like to thank you, Joe, for stopping by again for our wild ride.
Yes.
And I'd like to thank Lev Van Rensselaer for keeping us sound so slippery smooth while minding those audio boards. Thank you, Lev. And I am your host, Patrick Scale. You can find my features, documentaries, short films, video essays, animations, behind-the-scenes footage, and so much more at QuixoticUnited.com, and now all of our audio-related material on our sister station, Quixotic Harmonics. Thank you all for listening. Joe, say goodnight.
Good night.
Conversation, you can't even finish it.
School pictures came in.
Online? Did you just get mailed school pictures?
Tanya sent me a preview of it because she got it online. We have them coming in the mail too, but you want to see it?
Oh, yeah.
It's a very excited picture. Yeah, sure. She looks like a fucking serial killer. Ellie, why do you smile like that?
She's just asking us to know how she got those scars.
I can't say anything mean or whatever, because Tanya will be like, ah! And I pay for these fucking pictures.
Yeah,
so,
but and it's not Ellie's fault. I don't think any 5-year-old can take a good posed photo. Like, it's just not possible.
She's just smiling like she murdered the family.
Yeah. Nothing to see here. Normal functioning 5-year-old here.
It's nice. It's just that she's got like a fucking serial killer grin. When I was like that little, I would never show my teeth because I had like bad teeth when I was a little boy. And like, cause like I had a tooth that was like underneath the grown up. I mean, I was
like sharks. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But sharks are badass. Some might say they are jawsome.
Yes. Well, my little boy's got the same problem now, so it runs in the family.
Good dad, Joe, passing off your crap genes.
It's all bad genes that I gave him, apparently.
Well, do you want to hear about my Sisyphean struggle?
Yeah, what's that?
Well, Joe, as you know, when I go to the movies, I like to get popcorn.
Uh-oh. What happened?
Well, I've been avoiding this AMC thing for a while, right? That the app thing, I know it's been like a good deal for a long time, but I'm just like, yeah, but their popcorn's not great. They rarely have movies that I want to see. So, like, why would I do that?
Uh-huh.
But now I'm getting the popcorn, and then I'll get one. It's free when you have the app to get the refill. So I get the one, which is also discounted when you have the app. Yep. I get the one, and then I'll watch the movie, I'll eat it, and then I'll take another, then I'll go refill it, and I'll bring that home. I'll have that the next day. But earlier this week, I saw Skyfall, which is a good movie.
Yeah, you rewatched it?
Yeah, they had it at the AMC. They screened it there.
Oh, that feels like it's not a usual thing for you to do.
No, but I don't know. That's probably the Bond movie I like the most.
Okay.
I think it's good. It's a good reason to keep the app. Makes it free for me, so like that's great. Mm-hmm. But because I saw the movie before, I don't have the justification of like, if I leave, I don't know what happens. So in the middle of the movie, I go refill the bucket. And then eat the second bucket of popcorn, and, like, it's still all in me. My stomach is still, all this time later, just full of 2 buckets of popcorn.
Oh, no.
I can't get other food in. And you know what? I knew this would happen. It's why I don't do it. But it had been, like, 2 years since I made myself sick on AMC popcorn.
Yeah.
So I had talked myself into be like, well, maybe this time it won't be so bad or it'll be different.
Yeah.
And I'm older, so it's only going to be worse.
Uh-huh.
It was never going to be fun to eat 2 buckets of AMC popcorn in a 2-hour sitting. just been feeling gross for quite a while these days, Joe. And I'm like, maybe if I eat real food, I'll start to feel better. But, like, I can't fit it in me. Like, I have a couple bites and I'm like, well, still full. Guess this popcorn's not going anywhere.
It looks like you need some laxatives, my friend.
Yeah. I don't know if it's in my colon yet. Like, I think it's still just stuck in the stomach. I think the acid is just like, the butter is coating the popcorn. We can't break it down.
All right. Well, let me tell you something, because Regal's really done me a solid.
Oh, really?
Because I refuse to ever do a bucket. I'm not a boy who can do a bucket, because I usually go with Tanya and we usually get like a full meal beforehand, but I still like my popcorn.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'll take a small. And now there are small popcorns. They always tell us that our popcorn size is a lot smaller than it used to be for the small size. I'm like, perfect size. It's like that big.
Wow, there's like 5 popcorns in there.
Yeah, and also they charge you the exact same amount as the medium, pretty much. And I'm like, you know what? I have the discount.
Yeah.
So it really is not. I'm not losing anything. Also, I'm not wasting any popcorn. Yeah. I never even finished the small bag, so it's like, this is perfect. But I just want to have a couple of popcorn tastes in my mouth.
Yeah, I see you are not an addict like myself.
Well, I mean, I could be, but I usually get like a lunch with Tanya beforehand, so I'm not usually like...
Regal, also not one of my favorite theater popcorn makers.
It's fine. Like, their whole new updated thing, like, they have a bar now there, and a full arcade.
They're trying to do the AMC thing.
Yeah. It's really nice.
What slightly clever movie quip is their bar named after?
Nothing. It's all just nothing.
It's just the Regal bar?
Yeah.
It's
kind of Didn't even try. Yeah.
Have you been to an AMC recently?
Yeah. Yeah.
So have you seen the super goddamn annoying Nicole Kidman Welcome to the Theater video?
Yes.
I don't even blame Nicole Kidman. She's just taking the job, whatever. AMC, get your head out of your ass. You are not saving the world here, okay?
Yeah. Oh, that's what I went to go. I went all the way to Framingham to see the fucking Card Counter, the Paul Schrader movie.
Yeah.
And literally a week later, it was playing at Lincoln, and I'm like, you motherfuckers! Like, I drove an hour out of my way when it was 10 minutes down the road from me. A week later, that's just really frustrating.
Yeah, I got to sit through like 25 minutes of previews, and then I got this 5-minute long circle jerk.
Yeah.
And by the way, before she even gets into the weirdly empty theater, because nobody wants to see a movie with Nicole Kidman, I guess, is she's walking through like Stanley Kubrick's movie theater. It's like a 2001 Space Odyssey theater with like solid silver numbers all behind her. What an alienating piece of media that you make me watch before every movie, AMC. Just show me that goddamn Lamb trailer and get on with it.
Yeah, Lamb is coming out this Friday.
Really?
Yep. We're going to go see it on Saturday. Me and Tanya.
Check that out. We can talk Lamb next week.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I got my tickets for Bond already because apparently my 11 a.m. showing at Regal is already like selling out, and I'm like nervous now. Yeah.
At 11 a.m. on a Friday?
Yep.
Go to school, kids. What are you doing?
No, I think it's a lot of old dudes who've been waiting for like 3+ years for this fucking movie to come out. Like all the old people now, they're like, give me my fucking Bond. Give me my Bond.
I'm excited. I'm not see it first showing. I'm going to wait see it on the Tuesday after it comes out maybe. I'm not in a rush.
Yeah.
I'll get to it.
I just want to be able to sit where I like to sit, so I got my tickets already because I was like,
yeah,
whatever.
Like if I saw that it was almost close to being sold out, I'd be like, not going to that one. Too many people. Like I might not even go the first week, you know?
Well, I just want to get it over with because there's a lot of movies coming out this month, and I only have so much time to go see all these movies. And it's 3 hours, so I don't want to go like any later showings.
3 hours? Oh,
well, I'm saying with previews because it's like 2:43. But with previews, it'll be 3 hours. And I'm like, well, whatever. It's his last movie. I'm just gonna like suck it up.
It does. I mean, like the aggressively long previews makes it easier for me to like I plan to show up 20 minutes after the movie starts, quote unquote.
I like seeing those aggressively long previews. Yeah.
Especially when I'm going to the movies often again. It's always the same ones. I don't want them.
Well, mine switches up a lot. I don't know why, but I never really get the same ones because when I saw the Sopranos movie, I thought we'd get the Matrix trailer, and we didn't get the Matrix trailer. I got the Matrix trailer for in front of Titan. Have you seen Titan?
I've not yet.
You need to see that so we can fucking talk about it.
I think that'll be one of mine this coming week.
I'm not saying anything. I never saw her first feature though. Raw. Did you see Raw?
I did see Raw. Yeah. I liked it.
But she's, I believe, the second woman only to win the Palme d'Or now.
I know, it's very awkward, isn't it?
Yeah. But also, like, I think she's under 30 still, maybe.
Yeah, God damn
so it's just like, Jesus Christ. This is like her second feature.
I know. Those Frenchies, it helps that they get to grow up around good cinema, unlike certain countries.
Yeah,
wink,
good.
Wink,
we'll talk about that movie when it comes out. I don't know. I liked it. Yeah, we got a lot to talk. I got some notes for this one. I finally took some notes because I was just like, I had some real thoughts on this one.
Well then, let's go in.
Hell yeah.